earwolfradio.com. The wolf dead.
The following episode of How Did This Get Made is sponsored by LegalZoom. They're helping keep the show free. If you go to LegalZoom.com and enter the code EARWOLF, you'll get a discount, and 100% of what you spend there comes directly back to the show. LegalZoom is the best place to help with your legal needs. They're not a law firm, but they provide self-help services at your direction. For more information on how to support this show and the rest of the Earwolf Podcast Network, go to earwolf.com/insider.
Now it's time for How Did This Get Made? We're gonna have a good time, celebrate some failure, not just be a hater, cause you know you wonder, how did this get made? Let's wallow in the mediocrity of subpar art. Perhaps we'll find the answer to the question, how did this get made?
Hello, people of Earth. Welcome to the third episode of How Did This Get Made? This is the podcast where we make sense of the movies that make no sense. I am Paul Scheer. You might know me from The League. I play the character Andre. And I'm also joined by Jason Mantzoukas, who you might also recognize from The League. What's going on, Jason?
How are you?
I'm good. And, of course, June Diane Rayfield, who you've seen on shows like Party Down and Flight of the Conchords. June.
Paul.
By now you know we love crappy movies, especially the ones with big budgets, big stars, and big gaping plot holes. Okay, these are the movies that are supposed to be meant for everyone, but are for no one. And look, we're not trying to be haters. We're just saying we don't understand what we are watching. These movies make no sense. We are genuinely confused, and we're trying to find out answers. Now, today's movie is one of my favorites. It's the movie that brought the three of us together and actually started the idea for the podcast. I'm talking about the Robin Williams, John Travolta classic, Old Dogs, currently at 5% on Rotten Tomatoes. This movie comes
which in and of itself, it boggles the mind.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, that even got that high?
Yes. 5% is way
Quite
too
a bit.
high.
It's giving it a lot. The movie comes in under 90 minutes, which I'm not even sure that qualifies as a real movie. And I don't know how to describe this movie. It's kind of like a ballet of nut shots in a world of funny faces surrounded by a chorus of farts. It's awesome. It's on Netflix Instant, so if you haven't watched it yet, just stop the podcast right now. Go and watch it. It's only 87 minutes.
A lot of people are like, I don't even need to see this movie. They're just listening to the podcast. It's really funny and enjoyable. This is one instance where you must go and watch
You gotta
the
get your
insanity
eyeballs on this.
that
Yeah.
is this movie.
Yeah, it's like burlesque, listen to the podcast. This one, watch it.
Immediately.
Watch it. Now, I will try my best to sum up what the premise is.
Don't bother.
Yeah, it's hard. Basically, Robin Williams and John Travolta are successful single sports marketers who have
We'll get to what that is later.
Yeah.
I already disagree with you. They don't seem that successful.
They're not. They are not that
single.
It is true. All right, well,
Sports marketing is a sham.
the movie has, for me to even write down this description of it, I was having a hard time. Basically, there's sports marketers who have a very big deal coming up with the Japanese, and as they're preparing to close that deal, a woman that Robin Williams had a one-night stand with 7 years ago comes back into his life and says she had his baby. But guess what? Not only one, she had two. They were twins, and now she's going to jail for 3 weeks because she's some sort of echo warrior, and he needs to take care of her kids until she's released.
Who are his kids? Who she's
met.
like just gonna be like, I guess you can take care of these kids.
What the fuck is going on? This is not even the crazy stuff. We haven't even talked about the jetpacks and the puppet suits. All right, so just to give you a taste of the movie, here's a scene where Robin Williams is accompanying this 7-year-old into the bathroom. Says he, listen, just picture the image of Robin Williams talking to a 7-year-old boy pooping on a toilet. Here you go.
You're pretty old. How come you don't have any other kids?
Well, initially it was kind of...
You do know where kids come from, right?
Yeah, sure.
Can you tell me?
Well, in nature, the male and the female of the species are in what some have called the dance of springtime. You know, it's complicated.
Wait for it. Yeah, there you go.
Stand here, isn't it?
My mom usually waits outside.
I'll bet she does. I'm out of here.
Okay, now that was the... Oh, yes, those parts are real. They're not made by us. That's the only clip I could find online that did not have overbearing music or just funny faces. Now, here to help us make sense of this movie is our friend. You've seen her on Saturday Night Live, and she is in the upcoming new show on ABC, Happy Endings. Please welcome Casey Wilson.
Hello.
Hello, Casey.
I couldn't be more excited to share this day.
So you are also a fan of this movie. I didn't know.
Big
didn't
time.
know
Oh,
that.
big time. And can I just point out in your synopsis, the woman that Robin Williams was with, I just want to point out she was played by Kelly Preston.
Yes, John Travolta's wife.
Thank you.
And John Travolta and Kelly Preston's daughter,
Ella Blue.
yes,
Ella
is
Blue.
also in the movie.
And if you
playing
have
Robin Williams' child.
If you have a chance, go watch Every Little Step I Take, the remake of the Bobby Brown video that John Travolta and Ella Blue did. But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Speaking of that clip, though, Paul, those farts were ADR'd in. Those
Yes.
farts were not, because if you watch that scene, their reactions, they're not reacting to those
It
farts.
has nothing to do with the
It has
farts.
nothing to do with
That's a
farts.
clear example
That
of
was a
somebody
choice.
being like, this scene's falling a little flat. Farts? Yup.
Yeah. That is the Nacho
One
Libre.
No.
Farts.
That's
Two farts.
the Nacho Libre trick.
Three
That was the
too
same thing that
many.
happened in there. In Nacho Libre, every time there was a dull moment, they just pumped in a fart noise. Like, oh, they've been tricked. All right,
Is there, I mean, like, how is it? On what planet are we okay with like a grown Robin Williams watching a
bathroom
kid
stall.
shit and having that not be like the
And
most
saying
perverted?
the dance of springtime.
By the way,
And not-
having a sex talk with a child on the
stranger.
toilet.
He's
He's a stranger. He's a stranger.
But he's his father.
Hey, stranger, come watch me shit.
But also not answering the question, why don't you have children?
Okay, also, wait.
Never answered.
But wait, I want to also say that once Robin Williams in her life is because she goes, my boy never used the men's bathroom before. That was one of the reasons.
Oh
like,
yeah.
That's,
And then instantly he meets the kid and he's like, hi, I'm and Robin Williams is so awkward and the kid's like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom.
I'm gonna take a big dump.
And then it's like, oh, finally, oh my God, this moment is coming true. And then it's like cut to weird, pervy Robin Williams watching
Peering over him.
Standing in the stall.
standing in the stall, watching a kid drop a deuce, and the kid's like, where do babies come from?
Oh, there's a picture of it on the website if you have not seen the movie. All right, so let's talk favorite scenes because there are so many. Like I don't even know.
Every scene is amazing.
Every
scene.
scene is a magnum opus.
Well, I'd like to start off with one that I love, which is the tanning scene. Robin Williams goes into a tanning salon that the scene plays out like a scene from Schindler's List meets like a post-rape shower scene where he's overly tanned. He comes out so dark that people in Grand Central Station think he is an Indian.
Okay, the thing that's crazy that happens is he gets so tan, and is standing in Grand Central Station to meet Kelly Preston for the first time after 7 years.
Yes.
And Indian people keep coming up to him and asking him if he goes to Old Navy.
Yes, the one guy goes, do you, and in Indian he says, do you know that there's a deal on cargo pants? It's specific.
At Old Navy.
At Old Navy.
Subtitled.
If anyone actually can speak that dialect and can translate what that was going on in that scene, I guarantee you they weren't saying there's a sale on cargo
Well,
pants.
that's the thing. That's another, like, in post, they were like, hey, this is a joke opportunity. What should this Indian dude be saying to him that's hilarious? What about something about Old Navy? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Cargo shorts?
Yes!
Done.
We landed on it. No more pitches.
We have arrived.
We are geniuses.
The whole reason that he goes to the tanning salon, too, is because John Travolta goes, you can't go meet Kelly Preston looking like that. You look like an albino. And he does not. He does not look like an albino.
He a more tan person.
Yeah, he looks pretty tan. Well, the other crazy thing is that after he meets Kelly Preston, she says, I have a home remedy for that. Do you
Yep.
want me to use
An
it?
old family secret.
secret.
To get rid of tanning.
To get rid of a tan, like, and at this point, she does not know it's a fake tan, although she must know.
She was fine with it, sort of.
She called him Tan instead of Dan. I thought that
and
was
they
a
had a
funny
real laugh.
wordplay.
Oh, they had a real.
Oh,
she laughed
that whole
through that.
that
scene.
whole
Her
blood scene.
laughter,
That
her
scene.
nervous laugh throughout the movie.
It's just.
That scene where she and he get back together, and he immediately is like, let's take it slow, let's get back together, and she's like, I'm going to jail. And then she is like, hey, we have 7-year-old children together. And also, like, every time
by the
it's one of their turns to talk, it's massive, crazy revelation.
And the kids arrive yelling, "Daddy!"
Daddy.
Yeah. I've never seen this man before.
And one of the kids thinks that he's a superhero. That's another lie that
No,
has to
thinks
be
that Robin
kept up.
Williams is a
yes,
superhero.
sorry, yes.
Yes, yeah.
Oh
Well,
boy.
Kelly Preston's mothering leaves a lot to be desired.
A little bit.
Sure does.
And her the help she has, one of my favorite characters is Rita Wilson.
Oh, why does Rita have to get dragged into
Rita
this?
Wilson plays Kelly Preston's friend, who inexplicably is cross-eyed.
And a hand model.
And is a hand model.
Because she's beautiful in the hands, but not in the face.
Right, which is crazy because she's beautiful.
Beautiful.
And she's a hand model who Robin Williams destroys her hands in a crazy.
Okay, well, this is my favorite
I can't
scene.
even
Can I
continue.
just say what happens there?
Yes.
Rita Wilson is taking some packages out of the trunk. Robin Williams he slams her. No, John
Yes.
Travolta.
No, Robin Williams.
Robin Williams slams Rita Wilson's hands in the trunk, and immediately "Big Girls Don't Cry" kicks in.
I forgot that was the
How
song.
could you forget the song?
Well, I will also
Screaming.
say that music plays so loudly, and throughout this movie, it's like bump, 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 and you go, well, I can't hear the dialogue of these people. It's insane. But Big Girls Don't Cry, as a woman has just had her hands smashed to bits, and then they pop the trunk, and the trunk hits her in the face, giving her 2 black eyes and a bloody nose.
Yeah.
Violent.
Really?
Do you guys think though that part was written for an unattractive actress, and they wanted to cast Rita Wilson, and so they thought she was too attractive, and that's why she crossed her eyes?
Who knows? I mean, like, I appreciate
Do you think it was a choice?
your
Or
attempt
do
to
you think
make
she was
logical sense out of this, but this is maniacs wrote this.
Maddening about the movie is there's no logic. You can't follow one moment, not one line.
Nothing makes sense. Nothing makes sense in this world.
And what is clear, like in other movies we've talked about, we find things to talk about, and this and that, and this story doesn't add up to that, but this is just, if you listen to us, all of us are exasperated by everything.
Yes.
Nothing makes sense, nothing obeys any sense of logic or
Rhyme or reason, there's
It's
none.
as if like an alien watched an episode of like Home Improvement and was like, I can make this movie, and it's like just like things. It's like tanning salon, karaoke, golf. You know, it's like it's a word. Japanese people. It's like it makes no sense.
The setups make no sense.
Well, should we talk about the
machine
Oh.
or the pills?
I mean, the machine's pills, or even the grief seminar.
Oh,
whatever.
the grief seminar,
bereavement group.
So they're in there. They're having this deal. The sports marketers, which. Does anyone know what sports marketing is? We've tried to figure out sports marketing.
What's crazy to me is that we're meant to believe that like these two dudes run this sports marketing firm and they're about to make the big deal of their lives. They are old. They're old men.
Yes,
they are old people who are acting
Old
like
dogs.
Yeah.
They're
They're
old. It's
dogs.
like you or me were like, oh man, our company's about to take it to the next level.
Yeah.
That would be a movie that would make sense. But these are people that should be like retiring.
Yes,
absolutely.
They should have
They should
given
be
up.
closing up shop.
Yes.
Right around this time.
their company should be breaking at this point.
Well, it is confusing because are they representing athletes? Yes or no?
I don't. I think they're representing organization, like sports. I don't know.
All I know is that the Japanese are very interested to have sports marketers hired for something that we don't know, and there's a translator there, which makes no sense because
And Becky.
Played by Lori Loughlin.
Lori Loughlin, look
Gorgeous.
hot chick
Better
shot.
than ever. Better than ever.
She looks
actually.
better as
She
the years go on.
She does not age.
Does not age at all.
Everybody else in this
the
movie,
only one who does.
No, the
everybody else in this
DP
movie is a
looks so
cautionary
terrible.
tale.
Ella Blue looks 100. The DP should be shot. It is unbelievable.
So the translator, who is there for no apparent reason, because apparently the Japanese people can speak English when they want, and then sometimes they speak Japanese when they want. There's just no rhyme or reason
And
to
in the
it.
first scene with John Travolta, when he's giving his big like talk to the Japanese, she writes him a note because his story is just
By his wife, and then had a one-night stand.
Yeah.
Kills.
He's
And
really
got
setting them
a
up.
crazy tattoo.
he's really setting them up. Fremont, yeah. So then she tells him.
Fremont.
She writes on a piece of
References
paper.
don't even make sense.
She writes on a piece of paper, "You're doing great." Hands it to him. He's sitting right next to her, and then says to him, "You're really killing."
In the middle of a meeting.
Of a meeting with the Japanese, the